Hello everyone and welcome to the Power 9 Podcast, the number one MTG podcast from Singapore. My name is Mick. I'm one of your hosts alongside the future pro, Alfian Put.
Hey guys.
Hey. How are you this morning, man?
I'm okay. I woke up, went to sleep, woke up again, came here.
I woke up.
I woke up.
I woke up. I went to sleep. I woke up again. I wake, I sleep, I wake again. So very...
Sounds good.
Yeah, man, fasting's tough, man. I think it just takes too much out of the body.
Speaking of fasting, right?
What?
Do you know that McDonald's, right? They have this promotion for like if you buy a super red burger meal, you get another super red burger for free.
Why?
I don't know. It's a promotion. It ends
Is that crappy?
No, it ends tomorrow.
All right, let's do it.
It's not crappy at all. It's pretty good actually.
Are you breaking fast here?
No, at home.
Go eat a dick.
What?
Oh man, yeah. This morning I'm a little cranky. I woke up a little bit too early, but for good reason. We interviewed Mr. James Su, who's the author of Magic: The Addiction. You'll find the interview at the end of the podcast. You'll find the interview as a separate episode itself, or maybe not separate episode, but just if you follow our iTunes feed, it will pop up there. But interesting interview with him. He's a nice guy. He has his life set on straight. Legacy player.
Is it?
Legacy players tend to be like that.
The way he wrote about himself in the book made himself look like a dick.
Well, he's hyper competitive, which is
synonymous.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I guess so. Have you ever seen like a non-spike player?
Hey, that's me. I'm so nice.
Well, he's a competitive player, but now he's less of a spike than before, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, you identify yourself. What Magic personality type do you identify with? Spike,
I don't know,
Timmy, Johnny?
Like the closest one I can find is Spike, because like there's no other.
No, but you don't behave like a Spike. Like spikes have to go, PPTQ. What are you doing recording the podcast? You should be playing
I
the
should
PPTQ.
I should be in Superstar Gaming right now.
Yeah, exactly. This is Saturday. I don't know what time does SSG
12. I saw.
Get out of here. Go
Okay,
play.
see you.
I
was looking at the schedule. Could I make it for? Nah, okay, whatever.
Yeah, you see, then that's not Spike. That's not Spike anymore. Anyway, you're listening to the Power 9 Podcast. Every week we have new episodes that come out on our website, www.power9podcast.com. You can find new episodes and all our crazy stuff there. You can also find us on mtgcast.com, and you can find us on iTunes or any of your favorite podcast listening services. If you want to get updates, you just go down to facebook.com /Power9 Podcast, because we release everything there. You can also check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/Power9 Podcast. No, it's not Power 9 Podcast yet. You just need to subscribe, so that the more of you subscribe, the more we can do with the channel.
Nice.
You just have to search in there, Power 9 Podcast. You can also find us on Instagram, where we share our fortunes. We do all the MTG bling stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we just share our foils.
Do you open anything from EMA?
No, but I grab other things that other people open and then borrow it from them. The counter spell foil looks pretty nice.
Yeah. So like my friend had one. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I like that the highlight.
The pshing is more pshing.
The pshing. If you have no idea what we're talking about, go look up the artwork for counter spell. And finally, you can find us on Twitter. Just tweet us at Power9 Podcast. The 9 is the number 9. So we're going to talk about addiction. We have the interview lined up at the end of the show, but first, we always start the show off with My Week in Magic.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So, Alfian, how was your Week in Magic?
I didn't play much Magic this week compared to other weeks, actually.
Why?
I was sick on Tuesday.
Yeah, I know. You usually come on Tuesday to play the SCG game night, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, but what happened this week?
Things.
Yeah. Well, sick. Yeah. Did you play after that?
I did. I played Wednesday, Modern. I tried Modern for the first time.
Oh yeah, what were you running for Modern?
8-rack.
Wait, which version of 8-rack? Is it the legit 8-rack or the budget 8-rack?
The shitty budget one.
Oh man, so how do you do?
I had Ensnaring Bridges and Thought Seizures though.
Oh, you had Ensnaring Bridges?
Yeah, the shop went to me because they were like, oh man, running 8-rack Thought Ensnaring Bridges, man, you'll lose. Take the bridges, take the bridges.
So how many, wait, do you play all 4 bridges?
I played 3.
Why 3?
I didn't think 4 would be, I didn't think they'd be that important, but
what do you mean you don't think it'll be that important? What the hell, man? Ensnaring Bridges is like almost the namesake. If not for the rack, like yeah.
But I was wrong.
Yeah.
I lost every game because I underestimated the importance of Ensnaring Bridge. Like,
yeah, man.
Should I set this down now? Nah, just play this first. Nah, let's play this first.
No, Ensnaring Bridge is one of the most important cards in the deck. Especially against all the aggro decks. It just stops them in their tracks. You just make them discard, and then suddenly Ensnaring Bridge on turn 3, and they're stopped. And they are just like
actually. I played against like Delver. I discarded all his stuff, then he Eternal Witness his stuff back. Teamer Delver.
Yeah, but you have you have Ensnaring Bridge that should stop them from attacking.
It's a pretty good card.
Yep, that's a very good card actually. Yeah. So anything?
Yeah, I put it down once.
And that won you the game?
Nah, he bolted me to death.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense, right? You didn't discard his bolts?
He recurred it with Eternal Witnesses.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
And Snapcasters and all that nonsense.
So it was what, playing Zoo?
No, he was playing Teamer Delver. No, Teamer Control or Delve or something.
Okay.
Teamer Tempo, I don't know.
Oh, well.
Yeah, Tamagotchi in it.
Tamagotchi is quite good, but not very good against Ensnaring Bridges. Yeah,
that's better.
Did you play any standard?
No, yeah, I did on yesterday.
Oh, okay.
I played my new Jank deck.
Oh, what's the new Jank deck?
I call it Mono Blue.
Oh man, how did it turn out?
I actually did quite well.
You did quite well?
Yeah, okay. I did a few tweaks here and there. I made a few toned down on the Thunder spell slightly.
Did you try using the colorless counter spells?
Oh yeah,
Void Shatter.
Yeah, definitely Void Shatter and
Corrupted Crossroads.
No,
as well.
I didn't have Corrupted Crossroads because we couldn't fight them in time.
Oh, okay.
But regardless, it turned out quite well. Now I'm thinking of putting in Hedron Archive because that's what everyone runs.
Why? Oh, it draws you cards and ramps you up to the Ulamog.
The big guys, yeah. Maybe remove Ruin of Conduit. Nah, no. Ruin is too good.
Yeah, Ruin actually helps you set up your plays, because you ruin. What do you put on top? Ulamog, right?
Ulamog or Kozilek depends on the board state and the hand state.
Oh, okay, so it runs Kozilek as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird.
My friend was testing it for me, right? He was 2-0 the last game, right? He summoned Ulamog. He got his hand refilled. He got his Ulamog. His Kozilek. His Kozilek got decked in stone. Then I was looking at him and like, huh? No counter spell, okay, lol. Then I look at his hand. That's a f***ing anticipate his hand.
Why did you not do that? Oh well. Sometimes we forget, right?
Yeah, he was his first time playing standard in quite a while, so yeah.
Okay. I myself I just got to play yesterday, but I've been streaming. Well, we always stream. Remember, you can catch us on twitch.tv/theasianjudge or twitch.tv/greyogregames. And I was streaming a lot of games on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Got to see a lot of weird vintage decks and weird modern decks. I especially like the red-white control with Possibility Storm in it. Yeah, because it's a hilarious win con.
I actually play against that and win my Wednesday Modern.
Oh.
Yeah.
David, right?
Yeah, David Wu, yeah. The sad part is I discard his hand, right? He just discards his Squadron Hawks.
Yeah, exactly. So
he feels his hand with Squadron Hawks, like ultimate counter, man. Shit.
It's your undoing. Like Squadron Hawks are easy to, especially Liliana's land on the board, and then they tell you to discard a card. And like, sure, just discard a bloody Squadron Hawk.
It feels really bad.
Yep, feels bad indeed. But I got to play yesterday because the WMCQ is coming up this weekend. By the time you're hearing this, WMCQ will be over. Are you going to be playing this weekend?
Nah, I have work.
You have work?
Yeah.
Damn, man. WMCQ, man, the possibility of going to the World Magic Cup.
Nah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Whatever, man. It's not the Pro Tour, right?
Aren't they both big?
Yeah, they're both big, but the Pro Tour is like
bigger.
Yeah, because you get to fight with really the best people in the country.
Are you saying WMCQ won't be the best people?
You get to play against the best players in Magic on a whole. Most of them are, well, the problem is a lot of them are American. And that really lies in the number of tournaments that the Americans have. Yeah, man.
I wish we had more tournaments, man.
I wish we had more GPs around. There are a lot of GPs, but maybe not.
I'm going to
much.
GP Guangzhou actually.
Oh, you're going to?
Yeah.
Oh, what's GP Guangzhou?
I think it's modern. Oh shit.
Is it modern or standard?
It's modern. Shit.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll lend you a deck. No problem.
Yeah.
I'll lend you some Lilianas if you want to.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
I've only got one.
Oh shit.
I can lend you the other Lilianas.
Maybe I could borrow Ryan's deck.
What does Ryan run?
Infinite Combo Mirror.
What?
Okay, hear me out. You know Heartless Summoning? And you know Fecundity?
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know.
He just mirror retriever into mirror retriever and draws his entire deck out into a eventual Impact Tremors or a Grape Shot or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yep. That sounds about right. But you've got to, I think your opponent needs to be really, really dense not to figure out what's happening, right? Well, yeah, but whether you're not, you figure it out, do you have the combo in hand? It's a little hard to stop. Things like Ad Nauseam, even Ad Nauseam and all the other combo decks. Like, it's a little hard to stop once they get going.
Yeah, it's like you see 2 enchant on the field. Can't be anything bad. Can't
be that bad.
Seems good.
Mer Retriever number 1 dies. It's okay. Mer Retriever number 2.
You know, the first time I was playing against the deck, right? I was like, he seems to be drawing a lot of cards, and a lot of things seem to be dying. Seems good. Let's see what happens next.
Gravestorm and Grape Shot. Great. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
So that's why.
Yeah, the Gravestorm will just like mill you silly, and then finally Grape Shot.
Good shit. Good shit.
But I'm playing the Bun Humans deck, and somebody commented while I was playing, it's like, Mick, you've conformed.
Wait, Bun
piece
Humans?
of shit. Yeah.
In modern or standard?
No, in standard.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, turn around and said, Mick, you piece of shit. You're a sheeple now.
Yeah, disappointed you, man.
Hey, come on, man. You gotta play the best deck. Like, if you want the best shot at winning, play the best deck. I usually run homebrews. So,
okay.
But yeah, my homebrews are okay, but they're not the best. I don't think so.
Kaitia is running Ever After combo tomorrow.
Oh, is that the Dragon Lord Ataka Kologan?
Oh, shit.
No, thanks. I know I really love Saffron Olive, but nope. Not that way. Alright, so that's our week in Magic. On to the topic of the week, which is addiction.
Ooh.
I'm addicted. I wish we had money so that we could have the licensing for songs.
How much is that even?
I don't know. It really depends on the.
Why you ask them nicely? They'll give it to you for free.
I'm sure. I'm pretty damn sure. But yeah, we, in conjunction with the interview that we did with Mr. James Su about addiction, we're just going to talk a little bit about how to identify gaming addiction in general, and how you can solve it or how you can seek help. Gaming addiction, well, there's a lot of different types of addiction. There's addiction to drugs, sex, rock and roll. You know what? I Googled in how to overcome addiction.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm going to Google it in right now. How to overcome addiction. And there was an article by... where is that? There's a woman's magazine. Today's Christian Woman.
What? Okay.
How overcoming sexual addiction.
Sure.
Yeah, the article is probably okay. It's just the website that it comes from. Like I maybe I'm just stigmatizing it, but yeah. Today's Christian women, yeah. Oh. But yeah, there are many ways, many types of addiction. But we're just going to talk about video game or gaming addiction in general, and it's different. The symptoms are actually different in teens as compared to adults. The reason being because adults have disposable income. Because adults have, well, there's a lot of differences. Adults are, I guess, face different types of pressures than kids do, than teens do, and they tend to, I guess, justify their addiction differently. So they act differently when it comes to addiction. So let's go over, let's say for teens, if you're, let's say, a mom or you're maybe even just a shop owner, a concerned citizen, and you see some kids playing like magic cards like a little way too often.
Okay. How often is often?
Well, often is pretty damn often. We'll go through it in a while.
I come here every week. Am I addicted?
Not really. But here are the symptoms. Preoccupation. Someone who is addicted to computer, video, or internet gaming. We picked this off for internet gaming, but this definitely applies to Magic the Gathering. I've seen it happen before.
Have you?
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Yeah, I just have to look in the mirror. Someone who's addicted to computer, video, internet gaming often exhibits an unusual preoccupation with the game. They're distracted, irritable, disinterested, may only like talking about the game. They also downplay the amount of time that they spend. There's a lack of control. This one is very important, the loss of time. Along the same lines, a person may sit down at his computer again with the intent to spend only a few minutes but completely lose track of time and suddenly find that several hours have passed.
Man, that's me when playing Overwatch.
Yeah, the lack of control and the loss of time, right?
Yeah.
Lack of control is about, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to play like 1-2 games, and then suddenly you find yourself, those 2 games were kind of short. You give yourself excuses.
Yeah, right.
I lost that game, I got to come back in this one. Same goes with like Dota. I've understood
that too, yeah.
Some players don't go to sleep until they win a game of Dota. That is hard. That is hard beans, man.
I used to play Dota.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh man, was it bad?
It wasn't bad. I just played it casually. When friends said, "Hey, I'll play Dota," like, okay, sure.
Yeah, that's the thing. So that's not lack of control lots of time. But I see the Overwatch, creeping. Negative impact on other areas of life. Your homework goes unfinished. Other areas of life are neglected. Hiding from negative or uncomfortable feelings or situations. This one is an interesting one.
Okay.
When you're confronted with, something that is difficult in your life as a kid, you use this as an escape. And I have done this before. When my parents got divorced, I think I spent, or maybe not my parents got divorced, but before that, bad things happened in my life. And I found myself, just playing a game over and over and over again. And, my life being detrimented by that. If detrimented is a word. My life being affected by that badly.
Okay.
So the person may hide in a game as a method of avoidance or, just trying to quote unquote self-medicate.
Okay.
Defensiveness is also a big issue. When confronted or asked about how much time is spent gaming, they often get defensive, sometimes might even lie. And misuse of money. Well, kids don't have that much money, but if they do, like they use it on the games. Used to pay for, if it becomes
Story A cash cards.
Oh yeah, exactly. And this is even worse in adults. When
they have billions of money to spend.
Yeah, when they have money to spend, and that money was supposed to be meant for
stuff,
basics like the bills, the groceries, other necessities. Same goes, let's say, with shopping addiction, where people tend to buy too many clothes. and overspend and not be able to like pay their just normal like phone bills and electricity bills. And finally, there's mixed feelings. As with any addiction, the use of the substance, and in this case the substance is a video game, initially causes euphoric feelings, but that euphoria is quickly followed by guilt. Okay, guilt may be felt either over what the person is doing while online or simply just the amount of time that they spend at the computer. So yeah, if you do notice this in your kids or you do notice this in younger players, you might want to be alarmed and at least approach them and take a look at assess the problem. Yeah. Whereas for adults it's slightly different. Adults because they have this thing called self-control, quote unquote. Yeah, I'm putting it there.
Tusk.
The list for self-adults is actually a lot smaller because you're an adult. You can think for yourself. God damn it. Again, maybe.
Can you?
Yeah, lying about how much time you spend playing computer or video games. So
that's
just
pretty obvious.
Outright lying. Yeah, it's not being defensive about it. It's like when your mom, back when they told you computer games is bad for you, and then you'll be like, no man, computer games improve dexterity and.
I never took in that bullshit.
Oh, you never really? There's like studies showing that.
I never used that shit, man. Like.
Well, you should have. That's being defensive about it.
It doesn't sound accurate to me.
Well, I think it does. Like,
accurate,
you look at StarCraft players, like how fast they react.
Shit, like 300 APM shit. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Not gonna help your typing skills though. You only just go like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3.
1 2 3 Control A.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, adults tend to just lie. They don't defend themselves. It's just like, no, I just spend like I just play 1-2 games of Overwatch.
One too many games, eh?
Yeah. Playing computer or video games results in intense feelings of pleasure or guilt that seem uncontrollable. Despite having some form of self-control, I think adults tend to take things a little too far, especially when they feel that they can justify it, I think. Spending more and more time playing video and computer games just to get the same enjoyment, and this you can see like drug addicts. You have to take bigger amounts of a certain drug to get the same effect. You should know.
Yeah, I know. My doctor.
Oh man,
it's going too deep.
My doctor keeps prescribing me. No, I take painkillers for my back. Oh. And I've realized that I've upgraded my painkillers over the years.
I know, right?
to something to deal with the pain. Withdrawing from friends, family, or your spouse to the point of disrupting family, social, or work life. That's very difficult. Experiencing feelings of anger, depression, moodiness, anxiety, or restlessness when you're not gaming. This one, I think adults tend to... Subconsciously, it's in your mind. You don't talk about the game, but like you do feel a little, you do feel a little anxiety. Spending significant sums of money for online services in the game. Yeah. Oh. Computer upgrades or gaming systems, just to... It feels more like a midlife crisis type of deal.
Maybe.
Yeah. And finally, thinking obsessively about being on the computer or playing video games even when doing other things. And this might not be voiced out. This may actually be something internalized, but definitely a feeling like that. So if you notice this in yourself, in addition to that, adults actually may have physical symptoms. For example, difficulty in sleeping, migraines, back and neck aches, dry eyes, or carpal tunnel syndrome. And this has happened. Yeah, CPS.
Yes. I've seen people have that before.
Carpal tunnel, well, that one's normal. I mean, if you play with, we play with a controller. Carpal tunnel, I think, affects both young and the old.
What's it exactly again? I can't really remember. Something involved with the eyes.
Dry eyes?
No, carpal tunnel syndrome.
Carpal tunnel syndrome. No, carpal tunnel syndrome is a painful condition of the hand and fingers caused by compression of a major nerve where it passes over the carpal bones.
You're straining the muscles too much.
Yeah, basically it's your thumb. It's in front of the wrist, and it may be caused by continual repetitive movements, or by fluid retention. Of course, in Magic the Gathering, I don't think that's an issue because if you are putting a lot of pressure on that, you're also destroying your cards.
Yeah, why not?
But things like back aches, neck aches from playing for too long, for sitting down too long, definitely do come up. So you need to watch for that. Sometimes they exhibit things like not eating, not showering, not shaving, or they don't take care of their basic hygiene.
Ew.
So things like
those?
this wow, I've smelled some.
Oh really? I haven't.
I've smelled some before. So these are warning signs that you may need to seek help. There are some general warning signs at home and at work. At home, people do tend to just ignore their spouses. Or ignore their family. They're shut in. They spend more time on the computer or on the video game, or spend more screen time. And in this case, if we're talking about Magic the Gathering, either playing Magic online or just not playing at all, or not interacting with their family. Or at work, when a person is hooked on computer and video games, her work performance often suffers. Either they're falling asleep at work, they're missing assignments.
Before playing at work.
Or even just playing at work, which can, even put you under a lot of scrutiny. There might be disciplinary action or even termination. So, as you're an adult, you don't really have parents to guide you, right? Unless your boss tells you you're playing too much and then you get fired.
That's a parent thing.
Mobile phone games too. I think
I don't know, man. They don't seem that hardcore to me. I just play on the train.
Yeah, they don't seem too hardcore, but some people do take it a little too far.
A lot of Clash Royale.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're an adult and you do notice these symptoms, please go, seek some help, or at least evaluate what's
your life.
Yeah. Or if you do see in a family member, you can just approach them and ask. You just talk to them about it. I think adults are rational enough. It might take some persuasion, not in the form of fists, but just talk. Yeah.
Just tell them.
Yeah. So how do you combat this? So how exactly do you combat this? And this is really funny. I found a WikiHow article.
Okay. Oh, those are almost ridiculous.
Yeah. Those are, well, it's not ridiculous, but they don't really explain things all too well. There's 8 steps to overcome gaming addiction with pictures.
Oh, let's hear it.
Oh, yeah, man.
All right. Yeah.
So there's part 1 of 3. So part 1 is how do you overcome gaming obsession. Step 1, discover how deep your addiction has become.
Okay.
Which is legit. As what I know for people addicted to drugs, the first thing is to acknowledge that you have a problem, and then find out how bad the problem is. So just discover how deep your addiction has become. Try cutting down on the amount you spend on your PC, Xbox, PS3, whatever. Xbox 360.
Those,
Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS3, PS4, whatever. And you can just cut down. Oh, sorry, part 2. Reducing the time spent on gaming, and they offer you some advice. Just try cutting down. Wow. Replace your gaming time slots with physical sports.
Sure.
like boxing and shit. Get support from family and friends. I'm sure as a teenager or even as an adult, you want to just approach your parents or other friends and say, dude, I've got a gaming addiction. No, I don't think that's entirely
that's not how it works, man.
part 3 of 3. This one's good. Going cold turkey. This one is hilarious, man.
Oh yeah, I'm in an article right now too.
Yeah. Make your gaming device impossible to reach. Give it to your parents, and then they'll put it in like some extremely high shelf. I'm sure you're not going to find a ladder or some dangerous way to climb that.
You know, if your addiction like is that bad already, I'm pretty sure you'll find a way to get it back. Like.
Yeah, exactly. Find something else to do, such as scheduling activities with friends, finding a job, temporary or permanent, or playing sports. Yeah, easier said than done, my friend. Number 3, wait at least 30 days before playing a game.
That's way too many days. That's way too many days, man.
That is actually okay. So this is true. This is the average period it takes to break a habit, addiction, or make one. So if you're playing 30 days straight, you're probably addicted. It will put you in the habit. So if you want to break a habit, for example, I bite my nails. Okay. So if I want to stop biting my nails, I just stop. Try stopping for 30 days, and it'll curb your addiction.
Brain.
Maybe it won't cure. It won't stop you from not playing it, but yeah, it will curb it. And finally, when you get your device back, try your best not to play it for a week while you have it. Easier said than done, don't you think? But yeah, I love the WikiHow.
I like see number 3, right? There's this citation needed right there.
Well, there's a citation?
Yeah, citation.
Oh, citation needed, right. But there's a better guide from siteguides.com. This one is about how to treat video game, or it gives you the options, and I think the best of the options is, of course,
uninstall the game, man.
No, don't go cold turkey, but identify the number one thing is actually to step back and to realize that you actually do have an addiction. This is not like some drug addiction podcast, but stop, think. Do you spend 20 years? They have there are quizzes online so if you think you are addicted, there are quizzes online which allow you to identify how deep your addiction is.
Okay.
And it's very important that you do take some of that. If you think you're addicted, you probably are. Do take the quiz and find out how bad it is. Sometimes it's not so bad. It's not as bad as you think. And some people are very paranoid.
Maybe it's just casual addiction.
Well, addiction is addiction all the same, right?
Yeah.
So is there a cure? So the big question, is there a cure for video game addiction? So there's definitely treatment. Okay, so there's no real cure. I can't give you a pill. I can't give you a pill because I'm not a doctor, so I can't give you a pill, full stop. But nobody can give you a pill just to solve the addiction.
Might be invented.
Yeah, it might be invented. Even if you got like ADD or ADHD, or some kind of ADHD will probably prevent your addiction. But, probably ADD, or some form of addictive personality will definitely get you addicted to games or to certain stimuli. There are pills to help. There is medicine to help. There is treatment to help, but there is no cure. I don't think so. And it's hard. I understand that it's extremely, extremely hard just to tell oneself, not be, try not to be addicted. But the first step is always identifying the problem and, just seeking help for it. And there are better people than I who can offer you better advice.
Look online, man.
Yeah, online's not the best place, I have to say. There's always the doomsday theories online, right?
Yeah, no, those are legit, man.
Legit.
You watched the movie 2012?
No, I actually did not. All
what?
I know is, I did not watch the movie 2012.
Oh my
I did not want it to end that way. Not like this.
That's a historical classic, man.
It came out before. Did it come out before 12?
Yeah, it came out in 2011.
Oh, okay. Oh, it came out in 2011. I thought it came out in 2012.
No. It came out before, man. I remember very clearly.
It's a Christmas movie.
No, like sometime before that. Like maybe mid-year.
Oh, okay. There's one great place you can go is Online Gamers Anonymous. I think they offer great help there if you really do need it. In Singapore, there's one place where I need to... How to overcome addiction. There's one place in Singapore. There's a website in Singapore. I forget what it is.
I didn't know actually.
The Cabin Singapore. .com.sg.
It sounds familiar, but I can't put my finger on it.
Well, it helps with a lot of different types of addiction. Alcohol addiction, gambling, food addiction.
Food addiction?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Hey, people... the cliche where people say, I'm unhappy when I eat when I'm unhappy. So, yeah. There are many places to go, and there are many types of therapeutic methods. Okay. So there's no real solution, but, you undergo the treatment that is best for you, and that actually helps. I think... for me, it was just, approaching friends and just making time for for me, it was just understanding that there is some form of addiction and then going to talk to somebody about it. And that helped a lot.
I mean, you can't solve a problem if you don't know it's there.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that, you have to identify that there are symptoms and don't be in denial about it. I think being honest is especially critical. Sometimes we are in a lot of self-denial, especially as Magic players. I can't believe I drew that. I can't believe you drew that. What the shit?
Yeah, I can't believe I drew like my worst matchup, man.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't believe I have like my worst matchup like 3 games in a row, and that took me out the GP straight.
Did it?
No.
Yeah.
My GP runs are always freaking fantastic.
Wait, really? How do you like?
No, I'll go like 4-0 and 5-0 and then lose the next 3 games or something like that.
Sorry for the loss.
Or the best ones are, I win 1, lose 1, win 1, lose 1, and then win all the way to the last game. So it's down to the 9th round. It's the last game. If I win this, I'm in. And I just lose it straight out.
Sorry,
I always meet the opponent who's got just the best ever hand, or the best ever deck. So, yeah.
Can't say I'm not familiar with that.
All right, so I think that's enough about gaming. Here we're gonna splice in the interview with James Su about his book Magic: The Addiction, which you can find on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys enjoyed the interview. So and we'll be back. Hello everyone and welcome back to a special segment of the show. Here with me on the line we have Mr. James Su, the author of Magic: The Addiction, which just came out. Hi James.
Hello.
Hey, alright, so for the folks at home, why don't you introduce yourself? Let's start with who you are, where you're from, what you do, and how long you've been playing Magic.
Yeah, so my name is James Su, and I currently work in the tech industry, but I have a love of writing and playing Magic in general. So I've been playing Magic since I was about 12 or 13 years old. So that would have been for about 20 years off and on. And so that's basically a little bit about me.
What's your favorite format? I've read the book already, so I know.
It's got to be the Legacy format. I've been playing Legacy competitively for quite a number of years, and I really enjoy the ability to use old cards and the power levels of the format in general.
Yeah, I've recently been covering Vintage, and I definitely agree. The power level is... there is no ceiling to the power level. Well, besides the Power 9.
Yeah, the Vintage is just absolutely insane. I mean, judging by the name of this podcast, it's something that you guys are into. But Legacy is, I guess, the next best thing after that. So
that's the red herring. We don't talk about Vintage at all.
I know, but it's such a cool name, so it's very attractive.
All right, so yeah, before we begin with all the questions, I've read the book. I want to review the book. I think it's very well written. I like I like the stories that you tell, and it's definitely not for just an MTG audience. So, why do you call it the Magic the Addiction? It clearly does have references outside the game, and I think it definitely relates to people who don't play Magic the Gathering. So, why so much relation to Magic?
Sure. So I wanted to write about my experiences as a competitive gamer, and Magic just happened to be one of the things that I was really into as a child and still am right now. In the book, I talk about how because of my competitive nature, I got into other things that I could not quite get out of, such as poker and basketball and other things I was super competitive in. Magic happened to be one of the outlets. And so that's basically why I wrote the book, is I wanted to be thematically about competition, overcome competition in a healthy way, mentally and mindset-wise. And so that's why I wanted to write the book, calling it Magic the Addiction, because there is some fine line between, at least for me, addiction and obsession and competition. But I wanted to speak to the general theme of being competitive.
I see. You started out the book having quite a negative slant to it already, which surprised me because usually when we talk about Magic the Gathering, or at least when Watsy talks about Magic the Gathering, it's all, cheerful, happy, miracles and stuff like that. But you started off with a very, very dark tone. So, what exactly is the message behind your book, and what you're trying to convey to the reader?
I'm basically trying to convey to the reader my experiences in the game. Although they're my personal experiences, I feel that every Magic player or gamer has these ups and downs when they play a game competitively. It's basically what happens when you start to care too much and it starts to take over various parts of your life. So the book is not meant to be a entirely negative examination of Magic the Gathering. In fact, I'm still playing Magic today, and the book does have somewhat of a happy ending, but what I tried to do was talk about the balance that I had to take when I played the game. So there are some highs, there are some happy moments, there are also some lows, there are some down moments. And so I wanted it to be an accurate depiction of my experiences. Whether it's the good times or the bad times, I wanted to take the reader through that. And through this sort of journey that I had myself, I have tried to generalize the list of learnings and experiences so that hopefully someone who reads the book can learn from what I've learned and not go down the same dead ends that I may have gone down. So that's what I really try to do, talk about my experiences in a very realistic and factual way, and also try to generalize the learnings so that they can be applied to anybody who is overly competitive, if you will.
Yeah, I definitely like the way the last chapter or the last part of the book where you sum up basically everything that you've learned into, almost 3 sentences, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so what was the impetus to write the book and share on the subject matter? I like that it's a personal experience and that you do represent the, I guess, everyday Joe. It's not talking about the pros, but you definitely play on a competitive and professional level. So, what was, what made you write the book, or what was your inspirations for the book?
Yeah, the real spark for me to write the book was the really negative time that I had about 2 years ago. So I went to, in fact, this is in the book too, I went to Grand Prix, New Jersey to play in the Legacy GP. And I had decided that I was going to go there all the way from Beijing to New Jersey. I would literally just fly there for sit there for 3, 4, 5 days, play in the tournament, make day 2, do fairly well by my standards, and come back. And I put myself mentally all in terms of wanting to do really well. And through nobody's fault but my own, I didn't do so well. I scrubbed out of day 1. I went to the New Jersey area. I closed myself in mentally. So I didn't even go with any of my buddies. I had some friends who were going to go from Canada and other parts of the world, but they couldn't go at the last minute. So I decided I was going to do this on my own. I was going to sit in the convention center for 2 days, and I was just going to play Magic. I even decided not to seek out my friends who were in the New Jersey, New York area because I wanted to be focused on Magic. And so the experience I had was I dedicated myself entirely to try to do well in the tournament. I prepared a lot when I was in Beijing, but it didn't go so well. And the other thing was I had turned down vacation time with my girlfriend. So she had wanted to go to Thailand, and I said, no, I'm sorry, I can't go to Thailand with you. I have to go to New Jersey to play Magic. So there were all these kind of things that made the final result very unsatisfying. And so I was very frustrated with myself because I didn't do so well, and I had invested a lot into doing this and doing well. And so I started writing a little bit about my experience there. It started off as just a series of blog posts, and I shared it with some friends and some people online. And it was really just, it had even a more negative tone than the final book. It was just, I really don't like this game. I think it's done a lot of bad for me, and I want to quit Magic forever. So that's kind of how it started. But what happened was I shared the initial writings with some of my friends, and they said, this is really interesting. This is something that not a lot of people write about, even if they feel this inside. And so you should consider making it into something a little bit more full length. And that's sort of how I began writing it as a book, if you will.
All right, so there were definitely people pushing you to write the book, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. And so in the book acknowledgements, I tried to acknowledge some of my friends there. I really, really feel like I could not have written this book without their support and encouragement. I think that's one of the things I recognized through writing the book is how powerful the Magic community is, and sort of reflecting back on it, how community is important, period, to any game, not just Magic. And so that was really a big wake-up call for me. I know it sounds kind of silly to say, and we all kind of know it because we hang out with friends when we play and when we talk about Magic, but I didn't fully understand it until I started writing that was probably the single most important reason to play the game and why I still play the game.
I see. So in the first 2 chapters, you mentioned that your type of person is someone with an addictive personality. So have you ever taken a personality test? So what type were you then and what type are you now?
I didn't take a formal test. What happened was even though I had always been focused, obsessed, addicted to certain games at certain points in time, I've also had self-awareness. So even as I was spending 8, 10, 16 hours a day on thinking about something, I kind of knew I was thinking about it, but I sort of diagnosed myself without having to take a test. And just from knowing people who have similar personality traits. But I never quite took the test. No, I just sort of knew that I was addicted or obsessed about something, but the activity itself was still so fulfilling and fun enough that I kept up with it. But I would say that over the years, especially now, over the past 5 to 10 years, I've mellowed out a little bit. So even though I know that I have an addictive personality, I know what not to do, knowing enough to battle. So for example, I get to new games like WoW or Hearthstone because I know I'll just be super addicted to it if I try.
Oh,
so
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, well, definitely now you can see it objectively, yeah, which is great. Did you come up with... All right, there's one chapter where you came up with different characterizations of players that you've met throughout the game. So did you come up with that yourself? Because all of them are hilarious, and all of them are very true.
Oh, thank you. I came up with all of them myself, yes. I really was speaking from my own personal experience and just from over the years as I played. So just for the listeners, I mean, I talk about people who are overly entitled, people who would rather play solitaire than to play the opponent because they just build a SimCity deck. They just want to do some cool thing on their own. I talk about people who are the equivalent of poker players that are always complaining about bad luck and bad beats. So actually, I came up with all these archetypes on my own. But what's really interesting is that when I was sharing part of the writing with Reddit and the Magic community when it was a blog post, this was the most controversial part of the book. In fact, I have friends say you should probably not write this into the book, but in the end, I decided that it was real. It was real experiences and real people. Well, I talked about people without actually saying their actual names, but
Ben Chuck, right?
So, yeah.
Oh man, yeah. In Portugal, we just call them me.
Me. Okay.
Every time they go on like, oh, I had a bad draw, or like, my opponent just drew the right thing at the right time, and be like, me. So.
Right. And it's a challenge because the players who are like that, they never seem to get better, right? As a competitive player, they just talk about their bad luck instead of thinking about what they could have done better, and that really separates people who level up versus people who don't. So.
That's actually very true. If you attribute everything to luck, then the game wouldn't feature the top players in the top ranks all the time, right?
Exactly. And also, people are not really aware sometimes that they have had lots of cases of good luck too. So sometimes they don't see, oh, sure, there's a game where I mulliganed a 3 and I had really bad luck, but there might be a game where the opponent mulligans the 3 or you had a very good draw. And people never seem to take a very balanced view. And so the way I talk about these characters is just a way to be honest, but at the same time have a little bit of fun and talk about players. And hopefully someone who reads this section can have a little self-awareness of their own. So, yeah.
Just laugh at yourself, once in a while. I'm glad you definitely left that chapter in because that's one of the most entertaining parts that I've read in Magic: The Gathering in quite a while.
Thank you. And I wanted it to be, like I said, I wanted the book to be about the good and the bad and the ugly. So I wanted to be very factual. I didn't want to leave anything out. Yeah.
There's one chapter that you dedicated entirely to Matt, and I like that you did that. Maybe you can tell the people at home an idea of who Matt is.
Sure. Matt is a really good friend of mine, and in fact, he was the first person that I met when I started playing competitively, particularly Legacy competitively. Matt's just I'm sure all of us have somebody like this, somebody who's. So over the years, as I've drifted in and out of Magic and I moved to a new country, I've always kept in touch with him. He's been very encouraging to me. He's a lot of things about Magic, but also non-Magic. We've become really good friends. And so I really wanted to dedicate a chapter of the book on him, not just on him, but also as an example of how great the Magic community can be. I think all of us have a friend who has kept us in the game. One of the points that I tried to make is that it's all about who you hang out with when you play Magic. If you have a great community, you will continue to play the game because you'll feel excited to go every week, every month to a tournament, or play at someone's house. But if you don't have that connection, you will drift out of the game. I think it's very natural. And I think it's really why perhaps you and I are still in the game and others are not. And so I really wanted to pay homage to all the people in the community who have kept other players in the game, and that's essentially who Matt was to me.
Yeah. I definitely agree with you that community is definitely a big part of it, which is why we're working with a few friends of mine just to build up a community and maintain a community, because like you mentioned in the book, like the make or break for a game is the community. And you were playing Star Wars CCG earlier on.
Yes.
Yeah, and you did mention that the community was, inviting, and that they made you come back to play the game, not because of the game, but because of interactions that you had with them. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just think about every kid who starts playing Magic or another game when they go into a card store for the first time. It's often amazing how they end up playing the game for 10 years after that, or they just stop playing after the first time they go into the store when somebody says something negative or disparaging. I mean, it's a huge difference in terms of how the community should treat players, especially new players, because new players are the only way that you can get more interest in your game. So.
Yeah. We were just talking about kids last week, and we definitely need to treat kids slightly different from from adults. We need to bring them into the game and make them feel comfortable.
Yeah. Sure, absolutely. But I would say that even adults too. I think we all know people also in our 20s and 30s who drifted from Magic. Of course, there's life reasons, but sometimes there can also be unpleasant things happening when you're playing a game of Magic or in a tournament. So I think as players, we should all try to just be good people to everybody, regardless of who it is. So
generally good people.
Yeah.
All right. There was there's one quote that I have that how do I put this? It struck me as well. Something that I live by. You mentioned that the more well-rounded your life is outside of Magic, the more fruitful your Magic career will be. So when did you come to this realization?
I think it was just experience and practice. So it's not like something that I woke up one day and I thought, wow, that's really the key to success in Magic. But it's really just yeah, but it's more like a eventual realization, because through my own experiences, I realized that, for example, the New Jersey incident, this is when I put myself mentally all in, and I didn't do so well. I put a lot of pressure on myself. But if I can go into every match and every tournament and just think in terms of, hey, I prepare for this thing, I'm giving it a very honest, focused try, and let the chips fall where they may, or let the cards fall where they may. I think when you do that, it's often a lot better. And also going back to some of my friends, like Matt, my good friend, he is somebody who used to put a lot of stress on himself to do well, and he would be disappointed if he did not do well. But also through observing friends such as Matt, I've seen how over the years, in recent years, he's had a more well-rounded thing outside of Magic. He ends up performing better, like actual results-wise. And so I think I call it a paradox, but it really, maybe it's not even a paradox. It's just something that when you have a more well-rounded view, you put less pressure on yourself, and you just end up doing better because you're not all in on something. So, yeah.
One of your messages in the book: don't go all in on Magic. Yeah. Or don't
yeah,
in on the
yeah. I think so. I mean,
all right.
Yeah.
So I think 3 years ago that you moved to China?
Actually, it's been about 4.5 years. So when I finished writing the book, it was a little bit farther back. So yeah, it's been almost 5 years for me in China.
Okay, so when you moved to China, you told yourself, you gave yourself 1 year off. Okay, and then you told yourself, I'm going to play Magic sparingly. I'm only going to play when when I go to the States. Your reason being, you don't want to, invest that much time. Did drafting ever come into the picture as a way to play the game sparingly without having to practice?
I considered drafting at some point, and I had drafted in the past, but I chose not to draft when I was in China because I also knew that drafting was very skill intensive. So even though there was not much of a financial investment, I knew that to get good at draft with good players, you also had to do it quite a lot. So it probably would not have been enough to draft once a month. And knowing the type of player I am, if I were to go into a format for the first time, or because if I were drafting again, I would not. I would have to be acquainted with the new sets and new blocks. I would probably feel that I would have to practice a lot more in the beginning to reach that stage. And so that's kind of the reason why I stayed away from drafting, and I continued to play Legacy because I thought, okay, I had a fairly good handle on the decks that I was already playing, and the format doesn't change as much compared to Draft or Standard or some of the other formats.
Okay. All right. So that makes sense. Yeah. All right. So with regards to your final questions and your framework at the end of the book, I'm not going to spoil it for people. There have been a lot of articles written out there. The one that I like, Sean McLaren, it's entitled 7 Magic Principles for Peak Performance. It embraces the same values that you've shared in the book. So are there any certain writers in the MTG community that were the inspiration for the book, or is this just based off your, solely of your experiences?
I think there have been some excellent articles on having the right mindset and approach for Magic. I would say that in recent memory, PV, Paulo Vitor from Brazil, Hall of Famer PV, he's written for Channel Fireball, and I think a lot of his writing has really resonated with me. They didn't go directly. I wasn't directly influenced by his writing, but I thought that the way he analyzed situations and also about people, your mindset as a player had an indirect influence. There was another writer, I don't know if you know him, CML, Chris Morris Lent. He wrote about winning Magic while he was on mushrooms, and he's also written a few pieces about the negative sides of Magic. I think there was one called "The Pro Tour Sucks," and he's actually been a really big influence on me, just because. Not directly in terms of stylistically or content-wise, but he made me realize that, hey, it's okay to talk about the negative, dark side of Magic, because Magic is a very corporate-driven game. They want to accentuate or highlight the positives of the game because obviously they want to sell more product and more, get more players, play more Magic, travel the world, have fun, that kind of thing. But Chris or CML was writing about the negative aspects of doing that. And so that was a huge inspiration for me and made me realize that, hey, I could try to do something like that as well as, write about a more well-rounded view, not entirely negative, but talk about the bad as well as the good.
Yeah, I'm glad that somebody, does pick up on this because I don't think we talk about the negative aspects of the game as much as, one would like. People should be aware that such demons do exist, and the more we know, the better we are for it.
Yeah, it's a difficult challenge because that stuff doesn't sell. So if you're a Magic website and you're trying to sell cards or promote the game, it's very difficult to have that kind of conversation with the reader or the listener. But I felt that the other way that CML influenced me was that he was able to combine Magic with things that were going on outside of Magic. And so that's also what I tried to do is, I want to talk about Magic, but I also want to talk about basketball. I want to talk about things. I'm not trying to take focus away from the Magic narrative, but I realized through writing it that competition is competition, and so we're all competitive about something. Sometimes it just happens that Magic is one of the things. So,
very well said. Okay, so we're going to wrap up here, but before we go, we'd like to find out where we can find your book and any of the other things that you are doing right now.
Sure. So you can find my book on Amazon in both paperback and Kindle editions. So if you just search for Magic the Addiction on Amazon, you should be able to find it. You can also reach out to me through my Twitter account, so James_HSU. You can definitely tweet me and I'll get back to you. There's another project that I've been working on, a new podcast that I've launched where I talk to Magic players about their life and their competitive journeys. It's called Humans of Magic, and it's also available on SoundCloud as well as iTunes. So check that out if you have time.
All right, excellent. Thanks for coming on to the show and sharing about your book. We highly, highly recommend this book. If you are well, even if you're not on a competitive journey, the lessons that you learn in Magic the Gathering and, just competition in general, this book covers them all. And, written from a very personal standpoint, which is what I like a lot. So, yeah, thanks for coming on to the show.
Thank you, and thanks for having me.
Welcome back.
Hey guys.
Yeah, we took a break. We took a long break for the interview, like about half an hour, right?
Totally, man. Totally.
Yeah. The magics of editing.
Shaking my head.
We're gonna end the episode right here. Well, if you do have an addiction, gaming or otherwise, if you're not playing Magic, I don't know why you're listening to this podcast, but it's okay. If you do have an addiction,
maybe our
please.
personalities are just nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
People like to listen to us. People like to put us on so that they can go to sleep. ASMR style.
Oh, actually, that might be a thing.
Hi, this is the ASMR podcast.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, we flick cards like to.
Let me get my cards out.
You start flicking it and then like, hello. Yeah, people really enjoy that sound. Yeah.
I know.
Like, know how like scissors, like
I know,
clipping
right?
of scissors.
So good,
Right. You'll be listening to the Power 9 podcast. You can find new episodes every week, power9podcast.com, mtgcast.com, and iTunes. You can find us on YouTube, just all our video stuff that we do. You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/power9podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Power9 Podcast. We show off all our MTG bling. And you can find us on Instagram. And then you can find us on Twitter at Power9 Podcast. The 9 is the number 9. You can find myself on Twitter at The Asian Judge. How about you, Alfian?
You can just find me at the twitch.tv/scripture. Just any on Facebook, Alfian Pun, whatever.
Yeah.
I'll accept you probably.
Yeah, you can find me streaming games of Magic and not Magic on twitch.tv/theasianjudge.
Oh, you stream our Overwatch game too, don't you?
Yeah, I stream.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So yeah, more people tune into mine than yours.
Yeah, I'm sad. My stream's not even that smooth, man. It's like 30 FPS.
No, but the game is on. The game's on 60 FPS.
Yeah, but the stream's on 30 FPS.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I tried to fix it like.
You can't? OBS? Yeah. OBS can allow you to do 60 FPS, man.
No, basically the stream itself is 60 FPS. When the game turns on, it comes 30 FPS. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. That's strange.
CPU usage somehow. But my rig is pretty good. I'm not sure. It should work.
Well,
maybe I did some settings wrong, whatever.
Yeah, it actually might be the settings.
Yeah.
Finally, you can also watch, I'm going to plug the other streams that I do on twitch.tv/GreyOgreGames. And we do real people playing real cards of Magic every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday night. Yeah. So do join us then. Singapore time, 8 p.m. GMT +8. Yeah.
+8, yeah.
So, thanks for listening. We definitely enjoy doing the podcast, and we are thankful that you're listening.
Thanks, technology.
Yeah, thanks, technology. Thanks, internet, for broadcasting this all over the world.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, if technology weren't here, right, we have to go to a concert hall or something.
Shit,
like,
no, we got
talk to a bunch of people, like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, here, friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. Like, every week we have to go to an amphitheater.
What's the worst part? It's probably gonna be empty. Like,
yeah, that's the worst part. It's like, no, I can't make it on this night.
Oh well.
All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you guys soon. For myself and Alfian, we're signing out.
Goodbye, guys.
Ciao.
I love all of you.